Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the closing bell here at MarketStream.live. My name is Joseph Cusick with the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock. Here to wrap up today's action, and we had the market. It looked like at the midday it wasn't going to be finishing so strong, but it always tends to go against expectations. And well, taking a look at the Dow Jones, finished the day up 54 at 19,819 off of that psychological 20,000 mark. You saw the NASDAQ up 450. The futures finished at 49.3625. You have the S&P 500 futures. The E-minis going out at 2259.75, up 775. And then finally the small caps. The Russell 2000 finished the day at 1370.30, up 1260. And that really is the segment that I want to focus on right now and kick the closing bell off on is the small caps. Had a very strong afternoon, and basically that's after a couple days of underperformance against its large cap brethren. The 0.8% gain in the Russell 2000 was really the focus, and the focus is going to remain on that small cap index in the upcoming days, considering the fact that basically the school of thought is that as the overall market pulls back, the index that's been pacing the market rally should probably be pacing the pullback and be in the forefront of selling. But we haven't seen that as of late. We thought that could actually transpire over the last couple sessions, but today that strength in the Russell 2000, well, that domestically small cap orientated stock index, it is now turning and actually finishing stronger. That has two things going. One is that maybe the bears aren't able to grab the bulls by the horn. The other thing is that large multinational companies whose earnings prospects could be hurt by the rise of the dollar actually could also be, there could be a cyclical shift out of those stocks because of the dollar strength into these small caps. That could be the catalyst to the upside for these smaller capitalized, domestically centric, less affected stocks by the dollar upside. Speaking of the dollar rally after yesterday's rate hike, it continued to advance today. The greenback strength against the euro, which settled at 104.10, is incredible. It was up $1.35 today at 103.12, levels we haven't seen since 2003. Now, that didn't shake the treasury markets, though, after not only that move in the greenback, but also with the interest rate hike and the hawkish stance that looks like that's going to potentially transpire going into 2017. Treasuries began the day in a mixed note, with the 30-year bond and the 2-year bond posting gains, but the 5-year and the 10-year notes, they pulled back in price. The 10-year benchmark rose in yield by about 2 basis points at 2.59%. You have the 5-year yield, it increased by 4 basis points. You got prices pulling back in the 5-year and the 10-year, that midsection of the yield curve. And you had the 5-year at 2.09%. Now the 2-year slipped 2 basis points to 1.26%. So you're seeing that short end of the curve kind of dropping here, firming up after the rate hike. And the 30-year fell 3 basis points at 3.15%. Now there's a couple notable things that I want to bring up. For those of you that were watching Tech Talk at 3:30, we talked about 3 stocks that had earnings, and I think they're going to be movers both this afternoon and into tomorrow's open. Specifically Oracle. Oracle came out disappointed, and right now the stock is trading down about 2.1%, trading at $40. We had an estimated move right now that the stock could move either up or down about 3.7%. So still below its estimated move of what we thought it could potentially do going into the event, but down about 2.1%. JBL Circuits, ticker symbol JBL. Stocks trading up about 9.55% at 23.63. When we looked at JBL at 3:30 Eastern Time, they were pricing in the potential that the stock could move about 6.6% into the earnings. Earnings obviously came out. They were better than expected, and the stock is up after hours. Finally, Adobe Systems, ADBE. That's another name that we talked about at 3:30 Eastern Time on Tech Talk. Stock is trading up about 0.9% at 106.75. The options we're pricing in the potential for Adobe to move as much as 5.4% going into the earnings announcement. It's moved far less than that. We'll see if volatility gets crushed in there. It was actually very high for you vol enthusiasts. But the market, the upside on Adobe, decent earnings. We'll have to look at the guidance going forward on that one. As far as tomorrow's economic data that we're going to be keeping an eye on as we go into the overnight report at 8:30 Eastern Time tomorrow morning, as well as the opening bell and what's hot at 9:30 Eastern Time. Watch the November housing starts as well as the building permits. Housing names were surprised today by the National Home Builders Association. They had a positive data out today. Let's see if that continues on the starts and the building permits, and that's post a rate increase. It's not really ruffling the feathers yet of that industry. We'll keep an eye on that very closely. All right, folks, that's it for the closing bell today. Join us tomorrow morning at 8:30 Eastern Time, where we'll be covering all of the overnight action in Japan, and we'll also look at the opening market action in Europe, as well as the pre-markets here in the United States. Till then, we'll go check out all of the videos. They're recorded on MarketStream.live, and if you ever have any questions or considerations, email us at info@MarketStream.live. That's info@MarketStream.live, and the folks there will get back to you. Have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.